Hey y'all, welcome to the Hue. Hue represents true color, and we're here to illuminate the true stories of the inspiring folks we encounter along the way. Next up, we have Design Assembly. We have 3 designers here from Dallas, Texas that all collaborate, work together, have a beautiful community. Jen Stevens, Eddie Maestri, and Javier Burkle. We have a beautiful conversation teed up to talk about how designers collaborate and also about the individual amazing things they are all doing. Welcome, friends.
Hi.
Hi, thank you.
This is exciting.
Very
This kind of
excited.
came together very quickly.
It was, yeah.
Well, we're here on the Hue with some really good friends in the residential design community. We'll start to my right with Jen.
Hi, I'm Jen Stevens. I'm the owner of Fond Interiors, and we do both residential and a little boutique hospitality work.
Yeah, a little bit of
It's
both. I
exciting
need to
to be
make sure I
here.
mention that. And with Eddie.
I'm Eddie Maestri, Maestri Studio. We do architecture, interior design, landscape architecture, and we have a collection called Arcana of mantles that are now here at Pholio.
We'll definitely be talking about that. And Javi.
Javier Burkle, or Javi, principal and owner of Burkle Creative. We do mostly residential, but a little bit of commercial, retail mainly.
Yeah. And one thing we were totally going to talk about is how you all 3 came together. You have this amazing program called Design Assembly, and you hang out, share ideas. Tell us a little bit about it.
I think it all came out first. I mean, we're all friends first.
Right.
Totally.
And then this kind of turned into like, we always talk about this. We like sharing experiences. And then it kind of turned into like a really fun group that we get to share a lot more, the professional side, but also personal. And it's just a really nice group that we get all the support and we build each other. It's kind of like the main thing. So
Yeah.
How many of you are there?
Oh gosh, I think there's
12 or 14 now, I think.
yeah. And it kind of started very organically, just as a text chain where we would bounce
Love
things
that.
off each other. I
Yeah.
mean, just like, hey, have you ever dealt with this issue? Or hey, what's a good source for art? Or who you're using for receiving?
Right.
And it became this really fun. Twist our arms to get together and have drinks and dinner. But it became this really fun monthly date
Meeting,
every
yeah.
third Wednesday of the month,
Every
and we get
third,
together. Yeah. And it's been really fun too, because we'll bring in reps from different trades who we love, and very casual, a lot of fun. And it's been great because we can share things really candidly. We're not there for competition. It's really, like Javi said earlier,
It's about community.
build ourselves up. Yeah,
Yes.
it's about community and really like making everybody stronger with the experiences that we can share together.
And as the influencers say, it made it out of the group chat
totally.
It did make it out of the
Yes,
group.
Exactly.
exactly.
Yep.
every third Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly.
Does everyone usually make it?
For the most part, yes. I think in the beginning we tried to find dates that would work for everybody, and then that just became really
it's hard.
difficult. So
And that's why we
just picked
decided
a date and I
Third
think
Wednesday.
Most
Yeah.
people schedule around it though now, and we plan on it.
Look
So
forward
it's
to
been
it.
good. We look forward to
Yeah.
it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
It's
because
good.
something we learned recently because it brings value.
Totally, it does.
A lot
So,
of
yeah,
value.
there's a lot of value. And I think it's fun that we're all in kind of different stages in our careers.
Yeah.
I could see that.
So there's some people that are kind of starting a little bit and they love hearing from other people that have been in the business a lot longer.
Sure.
And, it's just kind of fun to, set goals, but also help others. And it's really
Yeah.
fun.
I think I leave every dinner with a new action item that I
Yes,
want to implement
yes,
that
same.
somebody else has
Yeah.
tried,
I think we all do.
or I
Yeah.
leave with being like, okay, I thought I wanted to do that,
Yeah.
and now I don't. Now I know I don't want to try that.
Yeah, exactly.
One thing I think those listening might wonder, how do you do it without competition? How do you have this community without competition?
I think that's something that I noticed in general in Dallas several years ago,
Mhm.
is that we really have an amazing design community, and we all have very different styles and different ways of doing things. So maybe there's competition in the fact that we're all interior designers, but we also, I think, realize that somebody you might necessarily call, for example, Javi or Jen, wouldn't call me anyway. It's not the same look. So we all have something very special and unique to offer. And the more that we can, in some senses, normalize the client design experience, it is beneficial for all of us.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And also just to be stronger as designers. There's so many amazing showrooms here in Dallas.
Yes.
And the sourcing is amazing. So I feel like it's not a competition. It makes us all stronger individually. It's really been a lot of fun. And it's a fun group.
It is.
I was joking with one of the reps recently. I was like, "Oh my god, I'm sorry. Like, we're so wild. You know, it gets to be a lot
It
of
does
fun.
get a little
So we look forward to it. You know, it's
Champagne
it's
night.
a good vibe.
Yeah. It's kind of
I
like an
agree.
anti-networking event, you know. Like
Yeah.
I think it's because we're all friends, and like I've kind of became friends with a lot of people through this. Like
Same.
I did the Madison Hotel locally, and we had a little opening party for it, and that's when I met a lot of the people, and we all said, "Oh my gosh, let's go to dinner. I really want to get to know you." And that was like the first dinner, and Eddie was there, and I think Javier was there too. And then it just became a group chat, and we were like, "You want to do this again next month?"
Yeah.
And next month, and we kept inviting
It
people that we thought would be a good.
organically
Yeah,
formed.
so we're all
Yeah.
like really championing each other. It's not like it's something you sign up for, and then you're like in
It's-
competition with people. You know,
yeah,
it's really like
totally.
we like
It's
each
a-
other. You know,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
we want to share things with
It's
each other.
super informal, and I think it's also been a really good way for us to also get to know some of the reps that we deal with in our businesses daily, but don't really get to see in social settings.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's been nice in that regard as well.
Yeah.
And developing that intimacy with each other, and
Yeah,
with, you say,
totally.
your professionals that you work with, your reps and showrooms, you can solve problems better because
Yeah.
you have a relationship, and it
Yeah.
makes it a little harder to say no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
there's that word trust, which I feel like that's my favorite word with my clients. And it's the
Mhm.
same thing with this group. Like I
Good.
trust this group in any way of like,
Implicitly,
you know
yeah.
what, you're looking for someone trust me, my intern was amazing.
Good.
Like try her out. Or
Yeah.
vendors that we love, like trust them, like this is the best product for that, category.
Or to go to them with like client problems or employee problems. I trust everybody in that group that it would
Yeah.
be confidential
Yeah.
and a
Right.
conversation that stays at that table. And I think that's really new in this industry to
Yeah.
not be a gatekeeper, you know, and
Yeah.
to not,
Absolutely.
And,
Yeah.
and at the same time, just kind of also sharing the talent pool. So we
Yeah.
might get a resume and we don't have a position open, but we'll send it out there and say,
At
hey,
that
this is a
particular
really
level.
great
Mhm.
person.
Right.
If anybody's looking for,
Yeah.
that position, that
Yeah.
we recommend
we
them.
do that a lot.
And it also
That's a
goes
big
the other
one.
way, and we're like,
It
wait.
does.
There is like
let me
Yeah.
add the little spice.
Always bringing the spice, Javi. I love it.
It could get spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder, this is something kind of fun that I think about with interior designers. You said something earlier that took pause, like my look, maybe not be my look.
Yeah.
It's not just look. I think you all have these distinct, amazing personalities too. How when we diffuse it down and we think about a designer and why someone would call Jen, Eddie, and Javi, I'd love to hear you answer why you get the call. What is your ethos? Because
Everyone's looking at me. Just
I don't mean to be super pointed, but I
Yeah.
think you each do have a vibe. And I don't quite say the word look because I think all of you are so talented
Yeah.
and can do many things.
Well, I think it's just like a different way that you show up in the world, right? And people respond to that.
That's a good way to
differently.
put it.
Like, so what I put out is very different from what Eddie
Yeah.
puts out and what Javi puts out. And certain client might just resonate with that
Totally.
directly for whatever reason, you know?
It's a different method of problem solving.
Mhm.
And, it was interesting. I was on a panel last week for Design Week, and that question came up if we all had an individual, directive. You could have the same client, the same directive, but it's going to look different.
Mhm.
And it's just the way that we problem solve. And I think all of us pull from our own inspiration, our own experiences, and that's the outcome you get. And it is unique every time, and I think that's the best thing for all of us that,
Yeah.
and getting to know the other designers also on design assembly is that I think it's a unique outcome every time. And it is important for the client to pick the right person to go through that journey together.
Mhm.
And
Some of it's chemistry then.
A lot of it's
A lot of
it is
I think.
definitely chemistry.
Yeah. It's a lot of personality.
yeah.
And a lot about
and
just how you run your business too. I think
Yes.
works for certain people and doesn't work for others. And
So for those listening, because I love what you just said too, and what you both said, the problem solving piece, Eddie, I love, and then how you sort of show up in the world and present yourself. So how do you show up, Javi?
I think I'm just kind of a hard question because I feel like I always go back to like my style, and I
Yes.
think I always go back to like my roots, and I think it's always something about that. I like presenting myself as something that's very collected, something that's a little bit more international, and I feel like that's what my clients connect with me about. Like I think they like that look of, we're not going with, not that anyone at this table is, but cookie cutter or anything that we're just going to find easily. Like I want to make sure that my clients understand it's going to be a complicated process where I get to know them very personally. We get really close, and then we create something together.
By being authentic, you can capture their authenticity.
Exactly. Yes. And there's no hiding of who we are or where we come from. Like, I want to show everything about that. Like, I want to show your grandma's antiques and, you know, all this meaningful background, which is kind of like who I think I am, you know.
I think
all
that's
of my background.
Lovely for you. Growing up in Mexico City and in now being in Texas, what a difference. Totally. And that's a really nice way to put that, I think.
Proud about it. So I feel like that's what clients get, you know, excited about, to give that, you know, give them a house that they're proud about. So
I love that. And when I think about you, Eddie, I can't help, I feel like I see you in drawings. Mm-hmm. Your work as an artist, and
I would say everything I do definitely starts drawing. I've always loved hand drawing, and so any excuse that I can really to put that on paper it's fun for me.
They're magical.
And I, you know, kind of like what you were saying, Javi, about growing up in Mexico. You know, for me, growing up in New Orleans, there was so much like really deep culture and history, and you know, families that have been there forever, and telling those stories and kind of like unpacking those things as far as like the history of homes. That's always really inspired me for sure. And like capturing that on paper, you know, I used to go around sketching in New Orleans all the time.
When did you start doing that? What age?
Oh my gosh, I was probably 3 or 4.
Oh my gosh.
And I would have my dad, I would draw on cardboard. I would draw the outlines of homes, like the elevations, and I would have he would cut it because I wasn't allowed to. And then I would glue them together and make little,
villages.
I was always very into it. But my dad is an amazing artist, so it rubbed off on me.
He's an artist.
Yeah, and that was something that we would do together as a small child. He you know, he enjoyed it, I enjoyed it. And then I never really knew exactly what path I would take as far as, you know, artist versus designer, but I knew that it was going to involve something that was artistic.
I love that. What about you, Jen? How do you show up? What's
I
your vibe?
I think that, I grew up in a big dichotomy. My mom was not only very Victorian in nature and always put together and a lover of antiques, but she was also a competitive cutting horse rider.
Right.
So I spent pretty much every weekend at a horse show and in between shows at the antique shop. So I really developed this love of history and storytelling, but also that kind of like rough texture and the dichotomy between those two.
I have never heard you say that. And that is so fascinating.
Well, I don't think I realized it until like I started my own business, and then I was kind of trying to hone in on what is my aesthetic and how am I trying to show up. And I think it became apparent that really informed a lot of my decisions now. But so now I end up showing up as someone who has an obsession with old things and an obsession with history and wanting to preserve that, but also wanting to add that back into the world, because we've gone on such a journey of stripping away over the last, 100 years. And so now I see these white boxes and I just wanted that opportunity to like bring that detail back in and make things that become timeless from today,
I think that's a common thread up on the three of us.
I was going to say that. I agree.
Is that we all love to pull from history. We're definitely not white box designers. We want to, put the creative
and you can feel
touch on everything.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you can totally feel that. One of the other fun things we wanted to do, it's so great that you have this community and I love it. It makes me happy to see that. I also think that you're each individually, we've talked about your looks and your vibe and how you show up, but you're doing such special things individually. And I will start back over here with you, Javi, because I was fascinated to learn in Madrid last week, all of the philanthropy work that you do. And you just said earlier, it's like something every month.
I love having something to look forward to, like get back. I feel like we live in such a city that gives us so much that it's important for us to give back to it. And it starts with the young people, with our community. And this group has been so supportive in so many ways. I think Eddie and I kind of really connected during KIPS last year, which is huge here in Dallas. Jen and I kind of connected during Dwell, which that was a year that I chaired it, which is awesome. And now I've pulled everyone into a couple other things, which we're super excited to work together.
There's something exciting coming up that you're going to do as a team.
Yes, there's a couple of us from the assembly. It's a smaller group. I wish we could include everyone, but it's, just a couple of us doing a dollhouse together, which each one of us is going to be doing a room, which is very exciting.
Well, we have some miniature mantles.
We will redo. Absolutely.
Eddie's already sent us a hand sketch beautiful drawing.
Eddie's already on it with a beautiful drawing.
I'm just going to plug Arcana if I can, if you don't mind.
Absolutely, yes. So it's kind of fun to do it as a community. And like, it's something that we all learn from each other, but we're also giving back. Because we are very lucky.
How do you have the time?
So, you know what? You make the time. You know,
Good
there's important
answer.
things that, you know, this is what I want to make the time for and get the team involved. It's exciting for the team to get creative in a different capacity. You know, when we do KIPS, there's no client. Like, do whatever you want to create something beautiful. For Dollhouse, I mean, how fun to like be able to do something completely out of our realm of like every day, and source new stuff and think in a very different way.
And you
know?
get to see the impact of the work you're doing. What's been the most impactful one that you've done?
Ooh, that's a good question. So Angelina actually invited me to help with a church here in Dallas a couple of years ago. And the process was taking a little long. There was a couple, you know, it was just a little bit of a longer. But we ended up doing the pastor's office.
Okay.
And my team and I just went in and actually furnished it, painted, blah, blah, blah. And we painted a flag, a rainbow flag in her office that we were like, we want to bring in what y'all believe in. You know, this is amazing. Well, she's been all over the news. She's the one that painted the steps in the neighborhood in Dallas where they got rid of the sidewalk. And she went back and painted the rainbow. And I was like, oh my gosh, we painted that in your office and now you bring it out. So it's kind of like hearing it. It's like, you know, we did something for her and she's doing so much for our community. So there's stuff like that.
That's the definition.
It kind of chokes me up,
philanthropy.
You know?
That makes me want to cry because it is. It's what you put into the world that comes back out of.
Totally.
And that's beautiful.
It's kind of like fun. So that's one. I mean, but there's so many amazing things in this community. It's awesome.
I agree.
So
it's a special place.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So.
And Eddie, you have so many projects. It's like, how do we keep up? But let's talk.
Positive distractions.
We'll talk about KIPS, but Arcana, I want to hear about it.
So as I mentioned before, I'm a big sketcher, and as much as possible, especially when I travel, I'll sketch, you know, different details. Some are super quick and some are just a little bit more put together, but I have all these, you know, pieces almost of parts of buildings and interior inspiration that I've loved for years. And we were designing mantles, of course, for clients. And then we thought, why don't we just maybe design our own collection? And we went with it, and it's been a lot of fun.
What does it mean, Arcana?
You know, loosely, it's Greek for like a box of secrets. And I felt like that was a really good interpretation or definition of kind of what my sketchbook is it's almost my journal and like my thoughts, like all my secrets of what I love.
It's vulnerable.
And it's been fun, especially too, you know, we have the 12 on the original collection, but also thinking about what we want to do going forward. And it's also been really fun to talk to other designers that want to customize them. And I think much like, you know, the work that Javi's doing, you know, for philanthropy and, you know, our project together, it is really nice to, as designers, to get out of what we do every day, even though we all love it, to have these outlets, positive distractions of like things that are fun and creative. That, you know, like other night I was sitting on my couch and I drew my tiny room, you know, I was so excited, you know, and it's just like, I would rather do that than watch TV, you know? So, it's been a lot of fun to do all these things. And, you know, KIPS Bay, was such also an amazing experience.
Which mantle was in KIPS?
So the mantle in KIPS was the Equilibrium.
Okay.
Which is now in my office at my studio and
has the two spheres.
Has the spheres, and I love it. And that one was inspired by Japanese architecture and the balance of the architecture that they do for seismic in their historical buildings. And that got translated into our KIPS room because the theme for our KIPS room was blending Parisian with Japanese design. So it's been fun to see those also get reinterpreted by other designers into their spaces, and you know,
takes its own life.
And every time it's in a different stone, it's a completely different look.
Absolutely, and you've been really open-minded about all the stones that you offer. I'm impressed with that. I didn't expect that when you came for the launch event. There'd be so many.
Well, and it's almost endless. We're always looking for new ones, and then you know, different ways with the different finishes, polished versus honed versus chipped. That's like my new favorite. You know, stone is like a chipped face.
I like that too.
So it's a lot of really fun ways to create something really unique in every space.
They're like a piece of art in the room, and they're theatrical and happy.
Mhm.
And they just do things. It's like, wait, that's stone? It looks like a curtain, you know?
Super cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's like gravity defying.
It is.
Yeah. So that one, the Palais, was inspired by the Opera House in Paris.
Yeah.
With the drapery for the box seats.
Well, we're beyond thrilled and honored to have the collection here. And
Oh, same.
I
I'm
can't
so
wait
grateful.
to see what happens with it. It'll be fun. I want to hear from you, Jen, because I've known you forever. I love seeing
I'm a
you
baby.
evolve. It's so fun. She was one of my clients back in these days when we were both really focused on hospitality.
Yeah.
And now here you are sitting before me, this full-grown woman,
They say that. Yeah.
running with children and running your own business and still doing hospitality.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. We're really focusing on the smaller, more boutique projects that, have independent developers. I think that's been the biggest journey, is going from that really large scale, like resort work, and scaling that down. And how do you kind of maintain and distill the important parts, but leave the soul, because that's kind of hard in the bigger projects. So it's been fun. I mean, I'm about 4 years into owning my own business now, and it's been amazing and a lot of hard work. But I think so much of what I learned in hospitality, I still use in my work a lot. I'm very documentation heavy, which I think comes from those days
that
in
background.
hospitality.
Yeah. And where does the name of your business come from?
It actually means well-founded in French. So I just think a lot about, what is the foundation of what I'm doing and why am I doing what I'm doing? And that always comes back to my kids.
Documentation.
Yes, yeah. And in smaller ways like that, or in more business-focused ways like that. We try to run our studio with a lot of integrity. So when we have like an issue with a client or the vendor, or if it's our mistake, which does happen, our first thing is to own it and say, that's us. How can we fix it? We're going to do our best, and just kind of lead with that integrity piece.
And how many people are on your team now?
I've got 3 people on my team now, somebody remote, and then actually 2 people remote. So, but we're on the hunt for another senior designer.
Well,
so
put it out.
I know.
Put it out
If anyone knows one, let me know.
You did the hospitality project last year, right?
Yeah,
Was that last year? And it was in Bishop Arts?
It's in Bishop Arts,
Uh-huh. What's it called?
It's called the Madison Hotel, and it's a 27-room boutique hotel property. And it was a 100, I think nearly 100, it's 100 now, year old building that was a boarding house for a long time, and then had a terrible fire and a flood and just sat abandoned for, I think, like 25 years. And so
there's some ghosts in there.
Yeah, a lot of, actually it's funny because our announcement of the project, we dressed up in bed sheets and sunglasses and leaned out of the room because we took the project on around Halloween. So that is deep on our Instagram if you want to find it.
I'm definitely going and finding that.
But I remember showing the developer and I brought up my phone and I was like, oh my gosh, AJ, you're never going to believe it. We saw ghosts in this building, and then showed him the video. So it was really funny. But what were we talking about with Madison?
Madison, yeah.
What
Your
were we talking
hospitality.
about
I was curious when you did it, and what was the takeaway? Like, how was that different than doing the hospitality work you did previously?
Oh, it's so different. So different.
Yeah.
I mean, we maintained a lot of the floor plan that existed because there was a lot of history in that building. We didn't really want to change a lot of the room sizes or the doors, so we maintained a lot of the architecture, but brought back in all of that character that had been stripped away through the fire and the flood. So it was a lot of paneling work. It's a lot of sourcing of vintage. We kept like a 30 by 30 unit for 2 years and sourced 400 pieces of art, and almost all the furniture was vintage and antique. And
so much research,
it was a labor
too.
of love, a lot of research, a lot of sourcing, but it was like my dream. So that really like informed a lot of the projects that I took on after. Now we have 3 or 4 100-plus-year-old homes that we're renovating and doing that same thing for, and a lot of them are what would be normally considered a tear down. So it's fun to be invited to bring that back to life, something that a lot of people look over, and being able to find those clients that see the value in doing that.
Absolutely.
Those are my people.
And what was that? You and Eddie were speaking a couple of weeks ago somewhere.
I was on a panel. I don't know if you were on a separate panel, but I was on a panel about historic architecture and bringing it into the 21st century in Oak Cliff. So it was very niche. I have a lot of work in Oak Cliff that I think kind of stemmed off of that Madison project.
Absolutely.
But that's where I met. I mean, that's where the design assembly kind of started, was at the opening party of that hotel.
I'm sad I missed that.
I know. I'll have another one. We'll do another one. It's been a few years. We can do a post opening
Let's
party.
be ghosts and reenact it.
Yeah. Let's do it.
I love it.
How was Kips for you, Javi?
Kips changed my life or my business,
In
to be
what way?
honest. The first year that I did it, which was 2021, I mean, my business was a good size, but kind of small. And they always said, like, once you do Kips, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. And they gave me the dressing room and the closets. And I was like, well, I'll be in the corner. See you when I see you. And I was there for a full month, talking to every single person that walked in.
Networking.
And it was amazing. I met some of my favorite clients, built a ton of business in there, which was awesome. And it kind of goes back to like, we were able to show our personality and like do a project where we had no restraints. It was like what we wanted to do, we put it out, and it paid off. And
aren't you known for your closet?
My personal closet is, yes, been known out there. So.
Yeah, I think epic.
I feel like this was sort of
Most amazing closet.
Yeah, that's the most amazing closet.
Yeah,
we
we
say an
usually
icon?
have a Christmas party, and almost everyone is in the closet. So
love it.
And then we
it's
come out.
pretty funny. Yeah,
Never been a
yeah, there's still people in there right now.
It feels fitting though that.
Yeah, it was kind of
you
a sign, to be
were.
honest.
It
Like,
really, yeah.
I never thought that was going to, like, when they first announced it, I was like, oh gosh, what am I going to do? And then I was like, you know what? It's actually a meant to be moment.
Yeah.
And it was great.
I love it.
So, and then that got me very involved with charity. And
You did it again.
I did it again last year. I created the alumni board for Dallas right after my year. And I actually brought Eddie in last year, which is awesome. And then last year I was able to get not a closet. We got a bar, which is so fun.
It was awesome.
And it goes back to bringing back my roots. So we did a tequila room, which was very much Mexico-inspired, the European side of Mexico, which was really fun. And it showed another side of our look, which, a lot of people appreciated. And, it was a great experience again. So
I loved that corner sofa.
a little banquet.
And I just wanted to hang out there the whole time.
You should have been one of those people. I was there all the time. So tequila shots. And so
I love that.
I
it
had
was
several
awesome.
tequila shots in your room.
We did a lot of tequila.
Good.
Yes. Thanks, Lalo Tequila, for sponsoring us. Just a
Oh,
little.
yeah. We'll make sure we put that
Yes.
in the notes. And Eddie, your room, when I think back on it, it was the word for me, and I'll let you describe it. It was just so sexy. And like,
thanks.
it was just so, also, I want to hang out here.
Yes.
What was the story?
So I had taken our team to a chateau in France 2 years ago, which sounds insane, but it was a really good experience for all of us to get inspired. And one of the rooms there was the music salon de musique, and I found that room, it was all gilded paneling and had a beautiful piano and had a beautiful fireplace, and I knew I wanted to use Arcana, and probably debut that. So I thought that was my first inspiration, and I wanted it to be a modern take on a music room. So we had the retro-inspired record player, and it was important for me that people did want to hang out in the space. So, we had a little bar as well. We had music. We had, we had incense burning in the corner, and I wanted it to be a fun experience for people. And then when we worked in the inspiration from like Fall in Kyoto, I feel like that was a really fun mashup. And, we wanted to go bold, as Kips is. And I wanted it to also be very architectural. So we brought in the Burl panels with the brass. And it really was kind of an homage to Art Deco design, Parisian, Japanese, but also with a little bit of a 70s twist.
Always with that New Orleans
background.
background.
And a lot of it too, a lot of my inspiration comes from growing up in New Orleans. And I felt like the scale of that room was so grand. The windows were beautiful. The ceiling was high. It really needed to be a modern take on a formal parlor. It's kind of what it was.
Yeah, and how do you create that intimacy, like you said, with those tall?
Yeah, and I wanted the Burl, the way that they went up to the ceiling and kind of curved to kind of almost envelop you. And then as you're sitting in that middle modular sofa, you look up and you have the big kind of reflecting medallion on the ceiling to kind of be the wow factor, So it really was meant to be enjoyed from sitting down in the middle of the room.
Okay. I admire both of you for doing Kips. I walked through yesterday, you and I missed the kickoff, but it was just to see all of the hard work and creativity and effort that goes into it, and also for such a good cause. What have you fundamentally gotten out of this experience? You met clients,
I think my number one thing is meeting the designers. Like,
Okay.
I've created a family with my first year. I've created a family with my second year.
Okay.
And that is one of the most important things, I mean, of course, the charity is amazing. And I love that
The boys
it's a
and
New
girls.
York Boys and Girls Club based, but I love that they connected also with charities locally.
Yeah.
I'm very involved also with Dwell with Dignity, which is one of the charities that they benefit locally, which is great.
Good.
But the number one thing for me was those relationships. Like Tracy and I became really good friends that first year. It was like both of our first times, and we were like scared, like, what is this? What do we just sign up ourselves? Also the Yates, like that's when I met them.
Yes.
So, it's kind of fun.
To create that
in
community.
a different way to communicate.
Assembly.
Well, that was just, the Kips is not everyone.
It was kind of a start, though. I mean,
yeah.
I would say I really got to know Javi and Tracy during Kips last year, and Tracy and I were room neighbors, and
okay.
You have a lot of downtime sometimes, so she and I would hang out, and she had her espresso martinis, and
of course
Javi had his tequila shots. So
she's always got her martinis.
Yeah, always.
But I think I second Javi. I think that first and foremost, it was really the more community of designers, and not just in Dallas, all over. And even this year, participating on the alumni committee, I mean, my Kips buddy, I should say, that we get signed to, I mean, she and I have become really close, and she's amazing, and she's in LA. And everybody has been so friendly.
Everyone's very friendly, but it's actually funny because every designer that comes to Dallas to do a house,
it's different.
It's very different. Because I've heard so much about designers that do New York or Palm Beach that they were like, I didn't know anyone. I didn't even become friends with anyone. I didn't talk to anyone. I was in my room. And in Dallas, we're like, no, we're doing happy hour. We're meeting. We're introducing everyone. Yes. We're throwing a party at the beginning. We want everyone to be comfortable. So that's another, Texas warmth that we've created is going back to like, there's no competition. Mm-hmm. We're here to like build a community. And the rooms are so different that, again, the client that's loving one room is going to go with that person.
Exactly.
There shouldn't be a negative about it,
I agree.
So,
Jen, are you next?
Yes.
I can't wait to see a fond room.
Yeah, definitely.
Me neither. It's a topic of conversation a lot. So
yes.
For sure, it's something that I'm really ambitious to do. I'm like, it's definitely on the agenda. So
yes,
I've already got my mental kind of like Rolodex of ideas. I walked through yesterday too, so I'm surprised I didn't see you. But
we were in the morning.
You were where?
We were in the morning.
Oh, me too. I don't know. So, anyways, we missed you, but it was so inspiring to walk through, and it's just like you can tell that every designer uses it as an opportunity to push the limits. And like, I am so excited.
Did you have a favorite this year?
Well, the Yates room, obviously. I think that was definitely my top
the
favorite.
showstopper.
Yeah, it's the showstopper.
That ombre wall. What?
Yeah.
Amazing.
I know. The paneling just
pretty
amazing. Jaw-dropping.
The color.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
But also, I can't remember her name, so I feel bad. We'll have to put it in the show notes or something. But it's the room that had the fireplace that was like a lion's mouth.
Oh,
or what was her name? I can't remember. And that she had the hand-painted ceiling that was
so
like very
good.
reminiscent of like Hungarian casework. It was
I don't know.
Beautiful. And that room was such a great example of every surface had something going on, but somehow it didn't feel complicated or overwhelming. I just thought it was so well done.
Good.
I love that room.
It was so moody, and like the amount of details.
Yeah.
It's amazing
Everywhere
how
you
much.
looked, it was like, didn't see that before.
There was a moving day for that room because there was a giant bookcase in the back that,
enormous.
It's just amazing.
I don't know how they got that in there.
It's amazing.
Ghosts.
Yeah, it's a great. Yeah. And you think about it, and you have such a short time, and for these designers to be able to be so creative and like think outside of the box and have a painter be doing a ceiling for 2 full weeks, hand painted,
Absolutely.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
We're so lucky that we have it in Dallas. Like,
we need a BTS video of Kips.
Totally.
I think that'd be really good for people to see.
We need a reality show for Kips.
You need
I think a reality show would be really
this
good.
would sell so easy.
That would. Yeah. What's this book thing? No, let's get the
reality show
good
for design.
I was going to say that same thing. We need a reality show for design assembly, but we talk about Kips a lot in design assembly. So it's interesting for me and other people who haven't done it to be like, okay, what's the good, the bad, and the ugly? Like, what do we need to know? And most of it's good. So that's the good part. But going into it, I think I'll have so much more knowledge about like how to navigate it just because of these relationships.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be critical.
Well, and that's the cool thing too, because when I did it last year, it is a little scary for a designer to take that on for the first time.
I'm sure.
And there's so much of what to expect. Like you don't know what to expect. And the timeline is so fast and it's so much money. And I know for me, and I know like for Jen, when she does it, is you really get to lean on other people, other designers who have done it before, and they really help you a lot.
I think that sounds
just
pretty.
Advice, what to do. I mean, just guiding. Like Yates was my mentor through that. They were fantastic. But even just my room next to Tracy, and there's always a curveball, and we all talked through things together. Javi was done first, and his room was sealed up, and he was out of town. And we were like,
ready to get out of there.
That's how it was on the church project too. Like we were all,
he's got it under control.
we were all working on the church
hobby
project
way.
together.
Yeah,
This is going to become a thing, y'all.
Yeah, it
the
is.
hobby way.
It's called the
We were
hobby
all
style.
like designing.
Yes.
Hobby style.
This is the craziest thing about this podcast is it goes so fast. So believe it or not, we're almost ready to close this out. But you know what we like to do in the end is say either something you're looking forward to, something that aspirational to leave people with, or maybe a favorite architect that no one knows that you want to share. Any of those are great.
Mm.
Go.
Obviously,
I was going to joke and say Eddie Maestri.
Well, that would be, all of you would be mine.
So I have been really excited lately just how things in my career have been naturally evolving. And I think it's been so important to lean in on what I enjoy. Okay. We have some great projects, but even just having Arcana here at Pholio has been just, I don't know, so exciting for me.
Good.
And
Us too.
we are currently developing a lighting collection called Almanac that we're really excited about. And
what a good name.
it's we're hoping fingers crossed to launch in the spring. And I think what's been really fun for us, especially at our studio, is that it's so important, I think, as designers to constantly evolve with your clients. But the work changes, like we change. And I think it's important to look back, but also look forward constantly. And we've been doing a lot at our studio of who we want to be and kind of focusing on our quality of work, how we present work, the projects we want. And we've just been really excited. It's been
fine-tuning your image.
Yeah. And not even just image, just it makes us happy, right? I mean, we all are, I think, very passionate about what we do. And I think it has to be a goal to look forward to. So I think between, Almanac and Arcana and like just all of these little strides that we're taking, and for me, incorporating hand drawing, I want that to be every single project that we do something fun with that. So it's been a lot to look forward to.
Good. What about you, Jen?
There's so many things we're excited about. I mean, being like 4 years in, I think everything's exciting and new, But I think the first couple of years, we spent a lot of time figuring out not only what do we want to do, but how do we do the part that we want to do. And so we've become really systems driven, and we've spent a lot of time on that kind of operating mechanism of the business. And mentorship has always been a really important thing for me, which feels a little weird sometimes when you're like so early in the ownership part. But I've learned so much and through the design assembly and through these relationships that I'm then able to kind of mentor younger designers. So we're putting a lot of effort into that and formalizing that. And what does that look like? And providing tools and techniques and more formal mentorship opportunities.
It's rewarding for you.
It's
and
really
when you can
rewarding
fill
for
yourself
me.
up in that way, then you can give more to your business.
Definitely.
Probably.
So I'm excited about that. And then also we're looking for a new home for the studio. So that's exciting to kind of level up to a bigger space. And with that comes some opportunities for, I don't know if I mentioned, but I'm a big vintage resale junkie. So we're kind of looking into the opportunity of maybe creating a showroom space and some resale opportunities.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, we're excited about that.
We need to talk about that.
Yeah.
I love that. For me, next year's my 10-year anniversary, which I'm so excited about. And
party.
I know, exactly. But I think I'm just excited that we are in a place where we know who we are, kind of thing. We figured out who our client is, how we work, our systems. There's so much learning in the last 5-6 years that I feel like it feels like a little bit more settled, which is really nice. And that security is kind of, it's a good feeling.
It is. And
after
it
working
easier.
for that long and trying to figure out, are we going to survive or is it going to work?
Mm-hmm.
We moved into our new studio this year, which super excited
Where
about.
Where is it?
We're in Oakline and Hawthorne area, Shops Highland Park area.
Amazing.
Really fun little location. And we're excited to be there and just feel settled. I feel like I'm excited to start the next decade a little bit more knowing what we're doing and also learning to say no to things that we don't want to be doing.
It's gotta be hard for
yes to things that we want to be proud about. So, yeah. So I think that's kind of our next chapter.
You have a settled disposition.
Love that. Thank you.
Yeah. This has been a pleasure. I really, truly appreciate all of your time. I'm proud of all of you to know you and honored to be in your sphere, even for this moment. And can't wait to see what you're up up to next.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah,
you.
thanks
That
for
was
Awesome.
This was really fun.
That's a wrap.
Yay.
Yay.
That was fun. I love that.
That was really fun.
It's fun, right?
Yeah.
We'll go get a photo.
It's
And
just like a nice chat.
Yeah, it's awesome.
thanks for listening, y'all. Let's keep the conversation going. If you have a story you would like for us to illuminate, please email hello@pholioco.com. That's hello@pholioco.com. And be sure to subscribe to hear future episodes.